Hello there, it's Lynn Horde, the Joy Coach, and I wanted to talk to you today about something that's one of my favourite topics and I've always been fascinated by, and that's your intuition and how to use it. So today we're going to talk about how to get a straight answer from your intuition. I've always been a very intuitive person, and that's great. Comes in really handy for my coaching. And often when I have to make really big decisions, I'll know the answer instantaneously. Especially when I've moved countries, which I've done a few times in my life, I've always had a really gut sense of, I know, it's time to go, and off I toddle. So it's really helpful then. But there are other times in my life when I'm just like, I just cannot get a clear signal. I do not know what my intuition is trying to tell me. And it can be really frustrating. It's like we're getting, mixed messages, which I'm sure you've probably felt as well. There's two main reasons why that kind of happens. Or three really. So one, we can ask it really complex questions and want really complex answers in response, okay? So that can be a little bit tricky for it because your intuition obviously doesn't speak words. It uses other language to communicate with you, like feelings, sensations, and synchronicities. So that's the first thing. We try and make it, we're looking for complex answers from it. The other one is our emotions can really cause havoc with our intuition, especially when you're, in relationships and asking questions around or emotional situations, and you're asking, how do I solve this situation, or what do I need to do? Your emotions, your strong emotions can really kind of, run interference with it, so to speak. And the other challenge is when we're really fearful around something, and which can translate into we don't really want to know the answer, we don't really want to know the truth, so our fear can run interference as well. So they're just a couple of things to be aware of why perhaps your intuition might not be operating as a clear signal to you. But there is a way around this. There is a way to use your intuition to its maximum advantage and actually keep it much simpler than it is. So first of all, let's just quickly talk about what intuition is from my perspective. So for me, my intuition is my inner wisdom, my inner voice that's actually coming from my higher self. So the divine part of me that always knows my highest truth and the action for my highest good. So that's kind of how I think about my intuition, which is why it's really important for us to make sure that we're in really good touch with it, because it will always tell us what is the best choice for our highest good, but also for everyone around us, because if it's in our highest good, it's going to be in everybody else's highest good as well. And there is a simple way, as I said, to actually use this. It's really fun, actually. I learnt this earlier this year. I learnt this from my own mentor, and it's been so much fun to play with since then. So the other way you can think about, another way to talk about your intuition is your gut instinct. So that's another way it's often spoken about. And as the name suggests, your gut instinct, obviously, it's down in your belly. It's right underneath your navel, so you can feel it right. It's like in your gut. If you can maybe say it's like deep in my belly. And the way to get in touch with that is actually, and to use it to its maximum advantage, is actually to keep it simple and ask it yes/no questions. Okay, so I mean, to you may have already known that, but it was really funny when my mentor explained it to me this way, and I was like, crazy town, you can just ask it yes or no questions. That is so much simpler than me trying to have it lay out a complex answer to something that I wanted to know. So how do we tune into that? How do we know whether it's saying yes or no? So let's talk about that. So you can actually program that into your belly. So here's how I'd recommend you do that. So take yourself off somewhere, sit quietly, you want to be not interrupted, and take your mind into that space below your navel, so into that place where your intuition sits. And just kind of breathe into it and just see it as a clear space. Then I want you to recall to mind a place, a time when you knew your intuition was saying an adamant yes. It was a very clear yes, yes, yes to something that you were asking of it, or something that had come into you, like an opportunity, and you're like, do I take this, do I not? And your body's like, yes. Okay, so recall that time to yourself in your mind, and also recall it in that space in your intuition, so in your belly. So feel the physical response to that yes in your belly, and when it is strong in there, then actually say mentally, this is my yes. If you want to, you can say to your higher self, this is my yes. Universe, this is my yes. Basically what you're trying to do is make sure everybody on board knows that this signal, this sensation in your body is a yes. So once you've done that, get up, walk around or do some breathing, whatever you need to do to kind of bring that space back to a neutral. Then sit down and repeat the process, but with a no. So bring your attention back to that space in your belly and actually bring to mind a time when you are absolutely certain your whole body was telling you, it was a knowing, that whatever was in front of you, it was a no. We did not go forward, we did not pass go, we did not engage in this process. Whatever it was, it's a no. So bring that feeling into your belly. Again, just make sure it's nice and solid in there, you can feel it. And then say mentally, this is a no. Again, if you want to, say to your higher self, this is a no. Universe, this is a no. Everybody on board, this is a no. Okay? So that's how you program or set your intuition to start sending you a yes or no answer. And then you get to go and have fun with it. So it's all, again, like most things, this is like a muscle. So you can go and start playing with it. This is the fun part. So whether it's as small as, should I have coffee or tea today? Should I go and see this film or that film? Should I take this path or that path? Just start playing with it, and you'll actually make it stronger, and you'll learn what those two feelings are specifically like in your body. For instance, when I have a yes, it starts in that lower space in my belly and it spreads up through my diaphragm, and it gets all the way, I can feel it rush up through my throat, and then a sense of peace comes over me. So it's, so for me, that's, I feel it rushes up here, and then it's that sense of peace. When I have a no, I can feel it actually move into my diaphragm and start to constrict on the lower part of my rib cage, oddly. And I also can get spasms in my leg as well. So I've become more attuned to, what the yes and no answers are for me. But the other way, if you're not sure, and if you're not really sure about how, what the feelings are or where it is in your body, another really simple way is to ask yourself, do I feel expansive or contracted? So if you're asking the yes or no question, if you feel expansive, it is a yes. If you start to feel contracted or nervous or anxious or any of those things, it's a no. And the other thing I didn't mention was sometimes there is a hold. So it can be yes, no, or hold, because sometimes the answer might not be a yes or no. Perhaps you have to wait for something to happen. So this is where divine timing comes in, and it gets really interesting. So sometimes if there is no response in that space in your belly, it can mean you need to hold. So you don't make a decision yet. And if someone presses you for a decision, it's going to be a no. There's never an urgency when in life, and when the universe is involved, there's never urgency. So if someone is pressing you for an answer, say no. So I really hope that's been helpful. I love everyone getting to know their intuition and learning to use it more, because your intuition will always tell you what's best for you, and you're the only one who can get in touch with your intuition, your higher self. So it's an amazing tool that everyone has access to, and you can use for everything in your life. So the more you can build that muscle, the more, you won't go off course so much, because you'll have that inner guidance and you'll be able to rely on it and use it to make sure you're heading in the right direction for you. So if you have any thoughts on intuition, like if you've got other tools, I'd really love to hear, what you use, because everyone's got different things, and it's great to share the knowledge and the wisdom. So have a wonderful day, and until next time, have a joyful time. Take care. Bye for now.